Fossil record. Sorry, I got crazy. Evolution asserts that given enough time, this form will evolve into this. Now, I'm using these as an example, right? That a dog evolved into a horse. You're laughing, but isn't that what they say? I appreciate the laughter because that's your honesty. That's your honest humor at the idea of it. Okay, look. Given enough time, this form will become this form. Is that what, do we agree that's what evolution asserts? Yes or no? Yes or no? I see somebody saying no. Am I wrong? Okay. That one animal will become this animal after a certain amount of time. That a fish will become a frog. That a frog will become a lizard. That a lizard will, you know, right? If you find frogs in the fossil record, which you do, tons, and you find lizards in the fossil record, and you do, tons, what should you have even more of if it took millions of years?
In between.
Transitional fossils. There should be so many more of these fossils in between. And guess what? There aren't. They don't exist. They find horses and dogs in volumes, but they don't find anything in between. Even human beings. I hate to wax. I get off on this. I'm sorry. I'm an excited kind of an expressive person. But you know what? Right now, down in the museum, they're showing Lucy, Australopithecus. You guys, this is a fossil that a lot of evolutionary scientists based their belief that we came from monkeys on. Have you seen the picture? Have you seen just how much of that fossil they have? They have like the bridge of a nose and a cheekbone. Like, you tell me how they know that it looked like a chimp. How do you assert things that don't exist? Entire body types, and I mean, they fill in the blanks, you guys. And here's the thing. They fill in the blanks with what they want to fill them in with. If I want to see a certain thing, I will see it. And I will try my best to make it that. That's me, and that's Carrie, and that's you. That's human nature. I'm not blaming them for that. I'm just pointing it out. In the absence of a lot of evidence, they make up assertions. So, I don't want to, I know we've got other questions, so just let me kind of, those are just a couple of little things to whet your appetite. But let me just say, what are my feelings about science versus faith? I'm reading a book right now called Soul Cravings, and he's talking about this very question. And I think science is incapable of answering the questions that are a lot more important. Why are you here? See, science may be able to answer the question when or what or how to an extent, but they can't tell you why. Why do you feel the way you feel? Why do you dream? Why do you long to become something? Why do you think about all of these ideas of God and my soul and my spirit? You have all of these invisible things going on. Science can't touch it. They can't touch it. Never will.
Plants and stuff like that. Why cannot
Well, because I think by its very nature, faith is what it says. It's faith. If one of my favorite examples of faith, here we go, pop culture. You remember Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade? Love that movie. Do you remember when he's following his dad's Grail diary and he's trying to get to the Grail and he gets to that precipice and it says, only in a leap from the lion's mouth will a man prove his worth, and he looks and there's this bottomless chasm and like the other side is where the wall is, and he's like, leap from, nobody can jump this, nobody can leap this far, remember this? And what does he do? He goes, it's a leap of faith. And he closes his eyes and he puts his foot out. There was a bridge all along, and he never would have known if he didn't take the first step of faith. There's no point in accepting something that's just, point's not the right word. It's not the same to accept something that's just obvious. You know what I'm saying? God is really big on faith. God's real big on faith. When Jesus rose from the dead and he came back to his disciples and they all saw him, 500 people saw him alive after he rose again. Now, if I paraded 500 people as witnesses into a courtroom, I'd probably convince the jury, right? But one of the disciples had not yet seen him. Remember who it was? Thomas, one of his disciples. And Thomas came back one day, and the disciples were like, Thomas, you're not going to believe this. Jesus is alive. We've seen him. He's like, yeah, right. Yeah, sure he is. Well, when I see him, and I can touch the nail prints in his hands, and I can touch the piercing, then I'll believe. Give me proof, right? Isn't that what he's saying? Give me proof. Let me see physical evidence. Jesus shows up again, and he immediately goes, Thomas, touch, feel. Thomas falls on his face and he says, my Lord, my God. And what does Jesus say? Here it is. Here it is. Don't miss it. Jesus says, you've believed it because you've seen it. More blessed are those who have not seen it and yet believed it. Faith. I don't feel like it's necessary to be able to prove faith. I don't know if you came in late when we were talking about the Big Bang thing, but the odds alone of probabilities of an explosion causing such a perfectly formed, mathematically precise solar system are none. But even if there were, that doesn't even go near explaining the intricacies of you and what makes you who you are and how you aspire to be so much more than just a pile of capillaries and bones that bounces around for 70 years and then is gone. We are much more than that, and we all know we are. We all know we are. Yes? Yes. We are all blessed a great deal. Even if let's say you've got physical problems. Let's say you've lost someone close to you, or maybe you've got a real bad family relationship. I get emails from people all the time. Kids who write me about, their dad beating on them, or, mom leaving, heavy things, guys. And, there are a lot of bad things that happen in the world, but to be honest with you, that's kind of the world we've made, People kind of do their own thing and they indulge themselves however they want, and then they get surprised by when things turn, But I agree with you. We all have a lot of blessings in our lives. The intake of air you just took, that breath that you just inhaled that gives you another few seconds of life. Did you buy that?
No.
Did you make it yourself? Did you earn it? Did you store it in your pocket somewhere? No, that was a gift. Just a gift. Oh, is it time? Oh, it's time. Wow, that was a fast hour, wasn't it? I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know if it was what you expected, and I don't really know what I expected either. But listen, I love you guys.